Get ready for America's #1 funny man. What? Hey. Make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, from LA to New York, Chicago to Mississippi, let's give it up for America's #1 funny man, Rodney.
What up, party people? It's your boy Rodney Perry. You tuned in to Rodney Perry Live, and how about this? I'm not wearing any pants. That's right. I said it. I'm up here straight Winnie the Pooh. Rodney Perry, why are you not wearing pants? I'm going to tell you. Welcome to the show, Nicole. I'm not wearing any pants because I woke up late. I had time to do nothing but put on a shirt. So I won't be standing today, but I don't really be standing nowhere. So how about this? Let's get into the show, have a good time. I do several things before the show every day, and I didn't get to do those things, but we're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna get my my co-host into the building. I'm gonna get Miss Shani Scott into the building. Miss Turnbow, welcome. Nicole, welcome. No, it's never too much information. Let me tell you something, and Shani will tell you this: if it's probably really happened, I'm gonna say it, because yeah. What y'all gonna do? Fire me? All right, that'll get fired from your own show. All right. Good morning, Shani. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you feeling today?
I've been meaning to tell you something.
What?
Shani Scott, you have the best teeth in America.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Your smile is hands down, I'm like, yo, Shani Scott teeth is ridiculous. Amazing.
Thanks to my mom, those braces I got in the 7th, 8th grade.
Get out of here. So, yep. And that's not no veneer. That's mom and dad in there.
Yep.
Get out of here, that's man. Way to go. You got the smile people go pay thousands of dollars for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. So people always say, your teeth so white. How do you do that? And I'm like, I just brush them. Just brush them.
No, I'm telling you, Johnny Scott on air, regular people smile don't be blinging unless they get a doctor to get them some new ones. Yeah, well done. That matters too. You know what I mean? Especially in this business we're in. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in on all platforms. Mad love, mad respect. My co-host for today. Me and this guy have been friends for probably over 20 years. He hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's a writer, a producer, a showrunner. He's a comedian, and he does it all so effortlessly. Always been impressed with him. He's a father. I think he might even be a husband again. Ladies and gentlemen,
he said again.
Welcome to the show, Lamont Farrell. What's up, brother?
What's up, RP? How you doing, Rodney, Shani?
Man,
Thank you guys for having me.
Good morning,
appreciate
Lamont.
you. Appreciate
man,
you.
You don't have to flex. See, Lamont taller than me. Now, he gonna be taller than me online. Like, how your head out the screen?
It might be back on up, Rodney. My fault. All this 6'4". I gotta get all this 6'4" in the camera.
Man, it's a lot to fit in a little box.
It's a lot to fit in the box, man. Yeah. Let
me ask you this, Lamont. Has being tall ever worked against you in comedy?
Man, great question. Only when I perform, like the upstairs of the Comedy Store and some of them other real small rooms, the ceiling is literally a couple inches above my head. So,
right.
So when the lights, sometimes I had to step out because they couldn't really see me. That's the only time. But other than that, man, being tall is a good thing. You know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, I haven't had this conversation with Talon and Touré, and they say it's a bit of discrimination for short people in the comedy game.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, it's just the way this world is. Being tall is a good thing, from whether just being on the street. When you walking down the street, people see you, you stand out. I remember I was overseas over they see a tall black man, they automatically
Michael Jordan.
Shaka. I'm like, no, I'm not 7'1". I'm not Shaka. Shock. Mr. Jordan. I haven't got that for years. Just It's crazy, yeah. But
dude, that's amazing, man. And what I always say is this: I'm 5'7". My wife will tell you I'm 5'6.5". I'm 5'7". The reason I'm envious of tall dudes is I get all the smells of the world.
My God.
I'm your air filter.
Yeah.
I'm filtering out. By the time the air get to you, it's fresh air. Down here, all type of ass and
armpits.
Armpits, all that live down here.
Yeah. You getting all that.
And by the time it get up to you, it's fresh.
That's hilarious. You gotta wear a gas mask when you're around me, Rodney.
Oh, Valerie cracking jokes. She met me at 5'2". You know what, Valerie? I wish I could hang up on your ass.
I thought. Well, I'm 5'2".
Oh, is that you?
I'm 5'2". No, Valerie. I thought she was saying that she's 5'2". I thought she was trying to say me too.
I met you 5'2". Maybe I think so. I don't know. Might have just typed or maybe she met Lamont at 5'2".
Well, she met me at the hospital when I was born. Then I came out the womb. 5'2".
Johnny Scott, you're 5'2".
I'm 5'2". Yeah, I might be a little bit shorter than that when my shoes off.
Now, let me ask you this, Shani Scott. You the woman on the show right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is height a disqualifying factor for you?
I prefer tall.
Has it ever been?
No, it hadn't disqualified people. I prefer a tall guy.
So yeah, it is.
Something like that. But I mean, my guy now. Well, if he was standing, if Slow could stand up,
he'd be a 6 foot tall guy.
He'd be about 6 foot 6'5". Yeah, he'd be. Yeah, he would.
Yeah, right. It's. I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying.
But
go ahead. I mean, I like a tall guy, but his limbs and everything else, match up. He has long arms, his reach is span is wide and stuff. So
Johnny trying to be nice. Women love tall dudes, man. I'm telling you. Listen, I did a whole episode. I did a whole episode on Girlfriends about this, because in the writers' room, we got into a debate, because literally my entire life, I've been tall my whole life. So even since 6th grade, they used to call me Jolly Green Giant when I'm walking down the hall in elementary school. But in the writers' room on Girlfriends, women were like, "Hey, Lamont, you got any friends? And single guys I could talk to that's around your height?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got a lot of single friends, but they all ain't, 6'4", So they were like, "Well, I don't know." I'm like, "But hold on, like, it's a lot of good dudes out there who under 6 feet." And so that spurred a storyline, and we came up with a storyline just about height. And if you remember back,
was that Kevin Hart?
No, it wasn't Kevin. It wasn't Kevin Hart. But Tony's character, she actually dated and married a doctor. He ended up being white, but he was like 5, real short. He's like 5'2", 5'3". But that came from our conversations about how the women really didn't want to be introduced to guys who weren't really that tall. So. It's.
I consider myself normal height.
Yeah,
I'm an average, but I'm really. I mean, women are looking for 6 feet plus.
Not necessarily so, because he called me out. So me and my guy, we met on Bumble, and on his profile, he was 5'6", and that didn't stop me from swiping right.
But he also a handsome guy.
I mean, well, yeah, they got. Yeah, he's a handsome
I'm saying,
guy,
he said, if you're a good-looking dude, you can trump. No. I'm saying a good looking guy can trump height, like a handsome in the
But
face
he said
guy.
he was 5'6". He said he was 5'6". He wasn't like 5'9". He wasn't 5'10". He said, I'm
If
5'6".
I would have had 5'6" on my shit, you'd be like, no thanks, motherfucker.
So Shawnee, he put that he's 5'6" on his profile, or you just assumed he looked the way he was standing? He was standing a lot of kindergartners. That's what made him look like he was big.
No, he can't stand up. He's in a wheelchair. No, he put that he was 5'6". No, he can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Okay. So
no, I mean it's okay.
Keep your little...
I think he be standing up though. It's like some of the stuff that he does in the house. I'm like, how did you get up there? But yeah, but I mean, he put that he was 5'6", and that didn't, deter me from, talking to him.
How long?
I think he taller than me in the wheelchair. Actually, I think he taller.
Wow.
And that we together 6 months. We've been together 6 months.
Oh, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, height ain't. See, look, 5'4" is okay. Jeanette's saying it. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's what goes in. Net is 4'11".
To be honest, I try my best not to, but height does factor in. That's right, Joy. Be honest. Keep it real, Joy.
Joy keeping it real. Joy keeping it real.
I dated a girl one time. She was, I think, flat-footed, 6 foot.
Oh, wow.
But I met her. I walked up and talked to her. She was sitting on a car, on the hood of a car. It was like an outdoor thing at a college campus. So I walked up to her, I'm smooth.
Yo, Rodney.
So I walk up to her, spin my game, get the number. I get the number, Shiny Scott. And we go home and we start talking. We don't see each other for another 2 weeks. By 2 weeks later, you love me.
because you smooth.
You love me. You literally love me. 2 weeks later, you love me, and now you're going, okay, we go meet. It's almost really like I catfished her, but she couldn't say that because she gave me the number.
You got it. You good.
So she walked up, she like, How tall are you? I said, I'm 5'7". She said, I don't date short guys. I was like, you do now?
Wow.
But how did she not know that you walked up to her and asked her for her number, right?
She was a little slightly inebriated. But she was seated though.
Okay.
Slightly inebriated.
Teenager. Okay, just a teenager.
She's sitting down. I walk up and I stood the whole time. So I'm standing next to her. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like I'm standing next to her, so we like even.
Until she that wore off and she saw you in person, she said, Kevin Hart?
Hey, how about this? Her boyfriend before me was Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, wow.
Are you serious?
I would have married this girl.
Wow.
But we were just on parallel paths, man. We just on parallel paths. Show some love to Alana. That was her name, Alana.
Okay.
Oh, what's up?
Let me ask y'all this. Because my wife is good for this. My wife treat every woman that I ever dated like they was a horrible looking woman. Like, if your significant other ever, and this for y'all too in the audience. You was with that tall bitch, how you, I'm like, then first of all, how dare you? I mean, these was people, nice people. And they wasn't ugly. How, like, she just really implies that everybody I went, and I'm like, first of all, I don't want to know none of these motherfucking trailer trash rock gut dudes used to mess with. But have you ever had somebody like that? They like this everybody they find out you used to mess with? Lamont.
Right. Your wife, your exes, everybody from your past is ugly, out of shape. didn't graduate from high school.
Dumb as hell.
Got a
I bet she was
GED.
dumb. That she looked stupid.
A low budget. That low
Low-
budget. That low. You got them
low
low budget.
budget.
I ain't no low budget.
That's a
shit.
good word. Low budget.
Low budget, broke, tore up. Everybody was tore up. Yeah,
I
I
ain't
mess
one
around
of
them.
these busted.
Them girls, she busted, tore up.
We
I don't
are
care who
good
you
for
date.
that.
You
We
be like,
good for that.
but I used to date Janet Jackson. Whatever.
She raggedy too.
She got a lazy eye.
She's still raggedy. She ain't in control of nothing.
Camouflaging herself with them big clothes.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. What are your relationship pet peeves? Like what bothers you regardless of the person? If they do that, you like like
Man.
anything, Lamont?
Relationship pet peeves. You know, like it's just a small. I got a few, but one is like when you're in a relationship and you know you're your wife or your girlfriend or what have you, and everything everything you do, whether it's your boys, whether it's your work, is always little. You know what I mean? Every time you got
look. I see you still doing your little writing.
You still
doing your little comedy.
You do your little comedy show every month. I'm like, wait, my little comedy? That's my thing. Oh, still gotta do. You still coaching them little kids, that little basketball.
They are little kids.
Well, they are little, but why I gotta be little? You know what I mean? Oh, you hanging out with your little boys. Y'all going out again tonight to watch the game. I'm like, yo, my boys ain't little. They all over 6'5".
But that doesn't mean
that kind of bothers me, man.
I don't think they mean it like that. Because I do that. I'm like, oh, you doing your little thing. But it's not.
You can't say little thing.
Exactly. But it's diminishing. It's diminishing what we do.
But that's not what we mean. That's not what we mean.
Well, explain it to us.
It's just an extra word that we put in there that we probably shouldn't. But it doesn't mean that it's like there's something wrong with it or it's negative or anything like that.
It is negative. We don't do that to you. Never, Rodney. Do we do that? And you say, hey, I'm going out. Me and the girl, we gonna get it. Oh, y'all gonna get y'all little nails done again. You in a little salon down the road. We don't do that. We just like, all right, babe, have a good time. We see when you get back.
And you never say, I bet you're going out with your little friend because she 700 pounds.
But y'all are men, so that's not your vernacular. You don't use words like that. Y'all are mean.
It's mean. It's mean.
It don't come from a place of it's a little mean spirited. It is. It's just a little bit, a little tad.
Yo, what did Joy say? Wearing socks in bed.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that.
But you know, if you got them little hospital socks with the little footies on the bottom, that's for keep you some balance.
Yeah, it's to keep you. I guess it's to keep your feet warm. But you know, some guys might have them Italian toes, man. So you know, like dinosaurs. So they gotta wear socks. They're going to cut up the sheets.
Oh wow!
Yo, have you seen LeBron James' feet?
No. Oh yeah. They did have a picture of.
Johnny, see if you can find a picture of LeBron feet, man. LeBron James' feet is
oh my goodness. I ain't seen LeBron's feet. I seen Shaq's feet though. There's some pictures of Shaq's feet.
The Shaq's feet is horrible too, man. Yeah. Man, you put all that pounding on your feet, man. That's a lot of pressure. Jeanette says, "I prefer socks. I hate feet." I do. Okay, so Johnny Scott on here. Relationship pet peeves. What's your pet peeve?
Mine is when they say they're gonna do something and they don't do it, because sometimes guys will just be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Wait, hold on, Shannon Scott. Hold on, stop right there, Shannon Scott. You ain't talking about like a regular lie. You saying somebody said they're gonna do something and don't do it, which is something else.
Just like little basic stuff, meaning maybe just to get me quiet, you know, to get stuff. It's okay, I'm gonna do it, and they don't.
I'm gonna take the trash out.
I'm gonna do like something around the house.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you said you was gonna do this. Oh, baby, I forgot. Did I say that?
Yeah,
did I say that?
Like,
you said it twice. You said it twice.
Now I learned that as like with my kids, like I don't tell my kids I'm gonna do something I'm not gonna do, or that I may not be able to do. Like I try to what they say. I try to overdo things and understate things. If that make any sense.
That part.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's LeBron James's feet.
Oh,
Whoa.
look at that
My
baby toe.
goodness.
It don't even look like 5 toes.
I thought he had on Timberland boots.
No, he can damn near fly.
Oh Lord.
And that's what he landed on. That's like a bad landing gear.
Wow. Yeah. My feet probably ain't the prettiest in the world, but I played a lot of ball. But it don't look like that, man. It look like a hoof. He got a hoof.
Feet is kind of what
he got a hoof.
Like that's how you can tell you got a Perry though. One of my kids, we all got little fat wide feet.
He said Perry.
I get all my girls got little fat wide feet. One of my daughters got their mama feet, but everybody else got little fat wide feet. My son, like when my son came out, I wasn't sure
because of the feet.
No, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, but you know when here goes the story. So my son's mama Judy, we was in New Orleans, and they were scamming dudes back then. So girls would be like, "Yo, give me the abortion money, and I'm gonna get rid of this baby." And I was like, she came to me with that, and I was like, "We having it."
Gotcha.
She didn't ask for an abortion, but she kind of implied that. And I was like, well, we good because we're going to have a baby. Whatever. No scam.
Yeah.
So the baby come out, and I'm like, I go to my boy Joe. I like, Joe, man, I don't know if this baby mine. We wasn't together but like one time. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
And
one time.
Wait. So I doggone go look at the baby, me and Joe. And Joe grabbed his foot. He said, look at his damn foot. That's your baby. And he's right. He just about my identical twin. Join the show. My other co-host, she just woke up too. Welcome, Raina Perry.
All right. Hey, Raina Perry.
Good morning, Perry.
Good morning. Raina Perry is 21 years old. You done put a little face on and everything, did you?
I put on a little lip gloss. That's it.
Oh, you're 21?
Yeah, man. This is my track star. She's at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. She's home for the summer. We were talking about relationship pet peeves, and don't send your daddy in the cardiac arrest.
Relationship pet.
Ho, Rodney. I don't know if you want to ask this question.
But I don't know. I feel like in my age bracket, people don't know how to communicate what they want. They kind of like are just passive aggressive about stuff. They'll like do little stuff and say little stuff.
But that's what you like. So me and Brandon have all these debates. Dad, you're toxic. Dad, you guys can be sensitive now, but that creates passive aggressiveness.
Not necessarily though. Like you could be sensitive. Like I'm a sensitive person. I cry all the time.
You don't want a man that's sensitive.
Why don't?
not the crying all the time.
You don't want no man that's sensitive, baby. Nah.
You crying, he crying, all y'all crying.
I feel like sensitive has a negative connotation now. Like it's nothing wrong with like he doesn't have to necessarily be crying all the time, but he can vocalize his feelings. You should be able to vocalize your feelings as any person, not even a young person, an older person. You should be able to be like, this is bothering me. I feel like this. I feel like that also goes along with being sensitive. Like you're able to be like, this is how I feel because of A, B, and C, you know, instead of it being like, what?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Instead of it being like,
oh, that's Rodney's baby.
Right. It doesn't
matter. That look like what?
It doesn't matter, or I don't care, or it's not important anymore. But you still stepping around and acting like you're upset.
Ooh, Here's a good one. Marjorie says texting instead of calling is annoying. No one talks anymore. That's true. That's true.
Well, I feel like I'm 21. Everybody texts. Like, that's not. Sometimes I don't want you to call me. Like, I just watch it ring. Like, why did you do that? I feel like you need to text me. Like, sometimes you need to text me first and be like, oh, I'm about to call you.
Wait, look at me and Lamont. We're like, what?
I'm gonna watch it ring. I don't.
That sounds bad.
Dude,
but like,
and I'm good for that. If I call your ass, if you text me twice, I'm about to call.
Yeah, because I ain't got time to be doing all this texting back.
So that maybe we just old. So wait, so if you texting, you might be texting all night.
Yeah. But I also I like to
want
utilize
somebody that can communicate though. You said you want somebody that can communicate.
Exactly.
Right. And texting is a big part of what we do in my generational age bracket. You need to be able to communicate effectively in text messages. But I said,
let me ask you this. Hold on. Do they need to be able to spell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not necessarily though. I do have a lot of friends and even, I mean, not necessarily dudes I'll be picking, but if he can't, he's shortening words. Sometimes I just read it like how they talk. So it doesn't necessarily bother me that they text different than I text, if that makes sense.
But Raina, and I know you at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and I am also, Rodney said in the beginning, I do a lot of stuff. I'm also a professor at USC. And what I've seen is that not so much at USC, but just in general, even in high schools when I've taught classes, a lot of times students, they write papers the way they text.
They
like
do
in a paper. Like they'll put in an essay, they'll put LOL or they'll put short, and I'm like, what is this? I can't even read this. I give it back to them.
I mean, I feel like I don't do that, but I've written papers for people, don't shoot me, I do write papers for people sometimes. And I feel like they have me do that because I can switch on and off between how my text talk and how I communicate in papers. But it's really people who didn't learn to like how to write a paper. So they just write it how we talk in an everyday basis. They don't know to switch,
exactly. They can't turn it on and off. So the way they text is the way they write.
And it's usually the way they talk in person too. I have a friend and he literally talks. I can hear it in his voice when I read his text messages because of it just is exactly how he talks. And so
he actually talking to you in person and go LOL.
Not necessarily that he said LOL.
I'm laughing out loud.
He'd be like, I ain't even say that. And I know that if I heard it in his voice, he would have said it just like that. He's literally typing it just like that. Or like everything is just shortened out. Like that's just how he talks. Or I don't know how to.
But I do think, and I know obviously, man, you're in a different generation than we are, but I do think, and I don't want to get into this older generation, new generation, but I think it's a problem because people don't communicate. And like you said, you just look for text, and I think a lot of people, my son's 16, and I get it. But when you speak to, not all, but when you speak to a lot of young people in person, and you like face to face, they don't really know how to talk. They don't look you in the eye. They don't know how to communicate. Everything's real short. They go for job interviews. It's like you're having conversations with them, and it's real short. It's like, yeah, no, okay, no one can really have a long, drawn out, meaningful conversation. They want to grab their phone. Hold on, let me get my phone. I'm gonna answer you.
Now, I can't vouch for this. They will talk to each other all night. I've seen that. The whole you go to sleep. No, you go to sleep. You go to sleep. You go to sleep. Like,
yeah.
So
all right, here we go. Let's shift. It's time for the question of the day.
Okay.
Question of the day is a list of questions I found over here. Let's see. Where's the one I was? Would you relocate if you were forced to leave the country? would you relocate if you were forced to leave the country? Lamont.
Like I'm forced, I have to go legally or whatever.
You
I
have
gotta
to go. Yeah, it's legal. Like you, somebody's gonna hook you up. It's gonna be a brand new whole situation, but it's not in America. You got to leave the country.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going. If I gotta go, I mean, there's a lot of nice places around the world. I'm not gonna hide out here. I'm gonna relax in
Really
somewhere in the world. If I gotta
Let me tell
go,
you
you say you forced
I
to
like
go.
America.
I like America too, but if I'm forced, what I'm gonna be on a run?
No, it's like not forced like that. It's like say you take another job teaching, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, the job is dope, but it's not in America.
Oh, I
It's
see what you're
in
saying. I see what you're saying.
it's
That's a little
in
different.
Dubai.
I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying. So, and I know I'm adding a little bit to it. Is this forever or this for like a, like
Nothing
rest of my life? Or
Nothing forever.
would you say it's not
Nothing
forever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would go. I mean, I would go for a job for a period of time overseas. I know people who go overseas and teach English in Dubai. Like you said, I know a guy who did it with his family. They went to Dubai for like 2 years. And then they
I got
back.
one of my buddies did that too.
Yeah. So, but how about you guys?
I get homesick fat. I don't like it sounds like a good experience, like it would be cool, but I feel like I would be ready to come back in like 3 months. So I don't know if a whole relocation is what I want to do. A visit, yeah, I'll go visit somewhere else. Like Dubai would be cool.
You already live in another country. You in Arkansas Pine Bluff.
That pretty much, yeah. And I'll be down here ready to come. I'll be ready to come home. I'm ready to go.
I mean, it's like an 8-hour drive away. Shani Scott, the station is blowing up. They want you to come to Turkey.
I'm going. We'll be in Istanbul or somewhere like that. He's lived there before.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I can pack all this stuff and go. This is remote. Yeah, we're going.
Really?
We out.
But you got. Let me put a little sauce on yours. You can't take the girls.
Ooh, it depends on how old they are.
It's tomorrow.
If they're in college. Oh no, then nah, it ain't happening. If I can't take my girls, no, my daughters can't go. No.
Yeah, why would they even say that? What type of idiot would say that?
Yeah, no.
What about you, Rodney? You going?
It would have to be a short time.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, as comics, we travel all the time. But I'm okay with short travel. Like I was in Canada for 14 days, and that drove me crazy.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Question of the day, number 2. Do you believe love is blind? Shani Scott on there.
Do I believe it's blind?
Love is blind. And then you know what that means? It's like, could you fall in love with somebody that was not a good-looking person?
Probably, yeah.
Shani Scott.
Talking about looks. Because it's not about looks for me. It's
Shani Scott.
How the person treats me.
Oh
what the person has
going. and let me qualify this because me and Shani Scott really get to know each other over these first 2 or 3 weeks. But Shani Scott, you telling me that you could fall in love with an ugly dude?
Yeah.
So are you looking in your mind at an ugly dude? Did you used to date somebody that was horrible?
That was horrible.
I mean, I've had some that weren't,
classically attractive.
Right.
She used to date Flavor Flav. I remember seeing that on Instagram.
Leave that man alone, man. Lamar Pharrell.
You weren't supposed to tell nobody that. That was a secret.
My bad, Shawnee. My bad.
If there's a picture on the internet, we'll find it.
I just let him do Flavor of Love, to try to, work some things out. But,
hilarious.
But I mean,
Lamar,
for me,
Lamar
it's about
Pharrell.
the person, not their outer. It's really about the person, and I've learned that over the years.
That might be a female concept. I think that's a female concept. Lamar Pharrell.
Man.
Is love blind? Could you end up? I know the answer to this because I done seen your women over the years.
Absolutely not. Hell no.
He said,
I
nah.
mean, because I think for most people, and I only can speak for myself, I think, come on, we run into a lot of nice people and throughout our lives that are nice, and and they were kind, respectful, they funny, they got a lot of qualities. But at the end of the day, I think when you see someone in the supermarket, or you see someone at work, you see someone walking down the street, or you aren't attracted to them because they are kind and considerate. You're attracted to them because they have qualities physically that you like, the way they look, the eyes, their hair, the shape of their bodies, or what have you. So nah, I mean, and for me, everything as you get older or wear off, but you want to have someone that you're at least attracted to physically, as well as being able to communicate and everything else. I think it's a total package. But no, I couldn't just be with someone who I thought was just guy I wasn't really attracted to, but they were super nice and they treated me well.
I think it matters how you meet that person.
How you meet them matter.
How you meet it? Because if you let's say y'all work together and y'all spend time together over time, it might not be romantic at first, but over time you can be like, she ugly as hell, but
I think now I agree with that, but I think it's a person that you kind of attracted to. You might not be like, oh my gosh, like she's, I don't know. I mean, but I think it goes both ways. I think women see guys they think are attractive, but they might not think is, Michael B. Jordan. But over time, you wear off, and you guys get to know each other, and you form that bond, and that's stronger than anything. What'd you say?
You go from this. Your face forth over time.
I'm curious what your daughter gonna say, but she is.
I'm saving her.
Let's see what she gonna say.
And I believe that women are kinder to ugly than men are. Like we got ugly friends that got women. Like I got some friends that are card carrying ugly dudes.
He said card carrying ugly dudes.
and they all got a woman in their life. And so women are kind. Oh my God, he's so nice. And so I think women can find a way to make it work. I think I know the answer to this. Raina Perry, is love blind? Could you fall in love with a guy that wasn't classically attractive?
I feel like personally, I pick like pretty boys. Like I pick a societal, good looking, like that's who I'm attracted. But I think, I am a societally, I look decent. And so I don't know, but I have, it's been dudes who try to talk to me and I'm like, he's okay looking. And then, but he's like funny or something. And I'm like, dang, he's funny. I like that. And I might hang out with him or still talk to him, even though he's not who I necessarily would usually go for. Like he becomes more cute as he's making me laugh or like because of other stuff about him. So that's why I'm like, okay.
He's laughing the ugly off, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he's not that ugly. He's okay.
He ain't that ugly.
Because he ain't so bad on the inside. Like you're a beautiful person. And so I think
the women are kinder. Women are kinder. Now for me personally, like the face is not always the deal. Like if she got a big old booty and some nice breasts, that might trump her face.
That's insane. That's crazy to me. That doesn't make any. That's crazy.
That makes all the sense in the world to me.
You like what you like.
You like what you like, but you can't be flat chested, no booty, and a bad face.
Oh wow.
Or how about this? You can't be flat chested, no booty, and a pretty face for me.
But what if she got a good heart? What if she got a good heart?
I don't give a damn about her heart.
You can't see her heart unless you're a cardiologist.
She can be evil as hell. She can be evil And I'd be like, she fine though.
But Rodney, but you know, and not all the time, but a lot of times when we seen it, I mean, guys, I think get a pass, especially what they bring to the table. I mean, we've seen with athletes, we think with business guys and CEOs, they might be, maybe fat, out of shape, not that attractive, but they're attractive for what they do. Women like power, so you got a guy that's
or they swag.
They got swag, or
because
they
could be
a couple
unattractive but well groomed. Like I
that's
like
grooming. Now you're right about that, Shani Scott. Grooming is
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
So
The way
they
they
dress.
dress.
That's again. That's a woman. That's a woman making. Look, girl, nah.
He got the right shoes on, because that my grandma always told me. She said, "You look at a man's shoes. If you look at a man's shoes, you know what's going on." So
all right, let's take a break. Let's take a break, guys. And ugly guys, know this: you got a shot. Okay. But if you're an ugly woman, stay home.
No.
Oh man, right.
Lamar, you ever call the ugly girl in the middle of the night? They pick up the phone immediately. Hello. You be like, I didn't even finish dialing your number. How you pick up the phone?
I'm still scrolling through my phone.
I don't even pick your number yet. How are you on here? All right, let's take a break. We come back. We're gonna talk to Lamont about directing, producing, and creating television shows. My name is Rodney Perry. This is Rodney Perry Live.
What up, y'all? It's Michael Sean, and I know you want to be a podcaster. You want a successful podcast. You want to give your views and opinions, but you just don't know how to do it correctly. That's why you got to hit up ShawneeScott.com. You want to be on radio, and you want to know how to build your radio career. ShawneeScott.com. She's done all of this. I've worked alongside her for years, and I will tell you the information that she can give you is on a value level that I can't even put a price on it. All you have to do is go to ShawneeScott.com. Your future, right now. That's it. Michael Sean. Yeah.
What up, party people? It's your boy Rodney Perry. You're tuning in to Rodney Perry Live. My people are in the building. Joining me on camera, Mr. Lamont Farrell. Lamont, what up, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. Lamont, man, let's talk about, man, your career, your journey, man. I mean, I'm impressed on so many levels. You're a writer, producer, director now. You're a professor at USC. You have your own writing workshops, and I'm just, at this point in my career, I'm just kind of understanding that the secret to the game is writing. Is creating it. Who hipped you to the game that, man, you need to be a writer?
Man, I learned a long time ago, Rodney. I mean, I went to college on the Temple University on a basketball scholarship, and I majored in journalism because I wanted to write funny and minored in marketing advertising because I wanted to write the funny Super Bowl ads. I wanted to work for an advertising firm, and every year I watch the Super Bowl ads. I'm like, I could do that. I could write that stuff. I could write that. But when I moved out to LA and was doing stand up, and I went to an episode of Martin, I was like, just literally in the audience, watching the show. And while I was there, I saw all these people who looked like me sitting down in them directors' chairs. And after the show was over, everybody's trying to go home on a Friday night, and they were taking all these scripts and they were just throwing them in the trash can. And I called down to one of the security guards. I'm like, yo, man, can I get one of those scripts? And he was like, I don't give a damn. So he just handed me a script, man. And I know he probably wasn't supposed to do that. But anyway, he handed me a script, man. It was like, you ever watch Raiders of the Lost Ark with the Lost Covenant, the Holy Grail? That's what it was. It was like, whoa. Like I had that script and that was it. I learned right then that it was more power behind the camera than in front of it. And so right at that moment, man, I kind of was my goal. I said, that's where I need to be. Because I knew that it was more power, it was more money. Because when you're on that side of it, you're hiring people rather than you being the person that's looking for an interview. You're the one that's being hired. So I was blessed to become a writer and write for the Parenthood and Girlfriend Moesha, a whole bunch of shows. And then I would be on casting sessions, and early on actors like Boris Kodjoe and people like that would be auditioning. And that's the side I wanted to be on, because that creative side, be able to create an idea. And I always say my mantra now when I'm teaching my classes is like, don't wait for an opportunity, create one. So.
Wow, man. Such a great story, man. So take me to your first gig, because I mean, were you a writer at that point, or somebody who took a chance on you?
Wow, great question, man. So it's funny because I started doing stand up, before I actually became a writer. So I got on my show time at the Apollo. I actually got on BET's Comic View, and so when I moved to LA, ironically, there was a writer, Ed Evans, who friends of mine to this day. He was writing for Living Single, but he was working at BET, and he saw some of my stand-up. He remember seeing me on Comic View, and so he hit me and said, "Hey, man, BET's looking for the Blackberry Inn." I don't know if you remember that. Laura Hayes
I do.
was on there.
We had Bo P on the show, and he was in and around at that time too.
Yeah. Bo P was on the show when I was on the show at that time. And so before I got there, he hit me up and said, "Hey, BET's looking for writers for for this new show." And so I was like, "Hey, man, and this is really before the internet, so." They gave us a sample of what scripts they were looking for. You just had to write like a 2-page, writing sample. So I wrote that. We faxed it in. Like you heard what I said, faxed it in.
Wow.
And so they called me in for interview, man, and I got the job. So it was about 10 writers in the writer's room. They fired everybody after the first week except me and another guy, Norman Vance Jr., who became my writing partner. You might know that name. He wrote the movie Roll Bounce and a whole bunch of other stuff. He has a new show coming out now based off that movie on Disney this year with the young lady from Blackish, the young daughter.
Wow.
But we were just us two. And so BT left us. I heard what I said originally. It was 10 writers down to 2 writers. And so they were like, "Hey, we want
but
you guys."
It's the same amount of work though, like, right? So
it was
does
more
make you
work.
Better?
It made us better, but it was way more work because now it's 2 writers writing all the scripts instead of 10 writers, and we ain't getting no more money. But what it did though, to be honest with you, man, it was like writer's boot camp because it was my first writer's job, and honestly, man, it was like a blessing because they really couldn't give notes because we had to turn everything around, but it's only with 2 of us. So we would write a script and turn it in, and they were like, "All right, here, start writing the next one." And so they almost let us write whatever we wanted to write. So we'd be in the writer room just coming up with crazy stuff and like, "Hey, that's funny, let's do that." And we turned it in, and they liked it, and then we wrote the whole season. And I actually got on the show in front of the camera, and I played the Reverend Fauntleroy back then. Yeah, man, I look like an old 80-year-old man. I never forget. On break one day, I went to the corner store to grab something to eat, and an old lady was in there. So I was an old man was trying to hit on me. She was like 75 years old. She said, "How you doing?" I said, "Man, I'm only 25, but I'm good." But yeah,
wow,
man,
25 years old, man. What an experience to have it at 25. Let's do this. Let's reset the show, Shiny, to the top, and then we'll come back with more Lamont Farrell.
SM Marketing Communications is not only a marketing communications company, They also provide web content management, social media marketing, video and audio production, advertising, not-for-profit marketing management, and community outreach and engagement. Want to learn more about SM Marketing Communication? Call area code 314-339-7662. That's 314-339-7662. That's SM Marketing Communication.
Want your book or music to be published? Skip the confusion and rejections from others. Let BePublished.org publish and promote your work for less. BePublished.org handles it all, from cover design to worldwide distribution, with high quality and fast turnaround. You even keep rights and royalties.
Everything was perfect. You made my dream come true. My book and CD look so good.
Call 972-880-8316 now. BePublished.org. 972-880-8316.
Get ready for America's #1 funny man. What? Hey. Make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, from LA to New York, Chicago to Mississippi, let's give it up for America's #1 funny man, Rodney.
What up, party people? It's your boy Rodney Perry. You're tuned in to Rodney Perry Live. Before we stop down, we're talking to the great Lamont Farrell, writer, producer, director, telling us about the old days, the lean days. Lamont.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I think your story is so amazing, man. Kid from Philadelphia. What made you jump in the car and ride out to LA?
Wow. Man, growing up, it was instilled from my dad, man, that, you can do anything. And you got to believe in yourself. And me playing for a Temple for the Hall of Fame coach, John Chaney, he would tell you, you got to have stick-to-itiveness. So you got to just believe in yourself and don't give up and just stick to whatever you're trying to do. So in Philly, I knew I started doing stand-up, opening up for names like Martin Lawrence and Mark Curry and Dave Chappelle when he was 19 years old. You know, and so all of those guys, David Allen Greer, I opened up for him, and he said that, hey, man, you got some talent, but if you really want to try to make something in this business, you have to, get to a bigger market, New York or LA. And I thought about moving to New York since it was only a couple hours outside of Philly, but I knew New York was close, and I knew it was too close to home and mom's home cooking. And I knew I would be home on the weekends more than I would be in New York. But I knew it was going to be rough. I already knew that it would be a little struggle. But I knew most people at that time would move to New York and then they would go to LA years later. So I said, man, if I move to LA, it ain't no just getting your car and coming back. So that's what I did, man. I hopped in my car, started driving to LA. My car broke down in Delaware. True story. 45 minutes outside of Philly. And
hold on, stop right there. You get in the car to go to LA and your car break down 45 minutes in.
Man, I thought it was a sign from the good Lord above, man. He was like, hey, turn your car around and head back home. But I got out. I don't even know a lot about cars, but I got out. It wouldn't start. I went to an auto body shop. They were too busy working on the other cars to even really help me. So then I was like, man, I got back in the car. I opened up the hood. I jiggled the battery. I kicked some stuff around. Turned it back on. It turned over. I jumped in, drove all the way to LA, man.
Dude, what was wrong with it? Did you ever find out?
I don't know. Nothing happened after that. I don't know. It was good. I'm like, hey, it's riding. I'm cool.
Yo, that's insane, dog.
Man.
You still made that trip.
I still made the trip, brother.
And that's a lonely trip. That's a long, lonely trip. Dude, like, so when I came out to LA, So I went out to LA. No, that's not true, Rodney Perry. You're lying. I'm in the military still.
Yeah.
And I'm working my way to LA because I know if I take these orders that I can eventually come down to LA. And then I remember going to get my wife, who is my wife now, and getting her and bringing her back to the Bay Area with me.
Okay.
And we rode across country. So you was in the car by yourself.
Now my ex-girlfriend drove with me part of the way.
There we go. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because that's a trip that'll make you break up with a person.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Especially going from
here.
Philly, going through that southern routes and all that. Going across Texas itself took almost 2 days.
Wow. So you make the transition, you're writing, but now you're getting to produce. You're on shows, hit shows, Girlfriends. I was on a comedy hype recently, and they talk about the fact that Girlfriends didn't get a goodbye. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, Tracy Ellis Ross talked about it recently. Girlfriends didn't get a farewell.
Yeah, they canceled the show, without people like to kind of get a neat little button ending. And a lot of shows do that, but there's other shows who don't, you don't know if they're coming back and they just end the next season. But Girlfriends went for a long time, man. It was almost 10 seasons. I think it went for 8 or 9 years. And went in syndication. I was blessed to be part of that. And so they talk about bringing it back. And I could see that though. I mean, that show was so popular, especially with women. They bring back so many other shows and reboots. I could see a reboot of a Girlfriend now.
Or a feature film. Is that something you would tackle like on your own, a feature film script?
I mean, hey, if I was blessed to do it, I would. I mean, I don't own the rights to Girlfriends. Mara Brockett Kill does, so it wasn't my show. So I couldn't call Girlfriends. I could call it The Girls or Sisters or Sisterhood. But yeah, I think that was to come back in a TV reboot or even a movie, as you said. I think it would do well because people are always constantly talking about that, and it always pops up. And I think all of those women now are pretty much available. I know Blackish is done, so I think it could possibly it would be happening. I would root for it. Absolutely.
Okay, Lamont Farrell. People find out you're a writer, they immediately start pitching their shit.
Oh yeah, all the time.
How do you deal with that, man? I mean, do you shut them down? Should you listen? Or are you concerned about the legalities or even to listen to somebody?
Yeah, you know what? It depends, on the person, if I know them or not. But if it's kind of like a stranger and they start pitching stuff, I really kind of I do shut them down, but I don't want people to say I stole their ideas, so I don't get into a long, but you can't really, you can't really register an idea. You got to be on something tangible on paper. But the way I shut them down though, as soon as they start saying they got an idea and they're a writer, I'm like, great, well, you got a script? And 9 times out of 10, most people don't write a script. They just got an idea. And so I tell them, I'm like, everybody got good ideas. I mean, my mom has great ideas, rest in peace. So I'm like, but listen, what takes that person from that idea to become a professional writer is to put that down on paper and to write that script. And that's why I started teaching my classes. But most people just, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of people just have great ideas and it just stays there because it's not easy, man. I mean, it's not easy writing, writing a script. I know you write. I know you as an actor, you get those scripts, but it takes a lot to put into that. And people, they see that process, and and now I'm blessed to be actually teaching that on a collegiate level, and they don't realize the hard work that it takes to do that. Everybody thinks, well, I can write because they write in elementary school and high school, but it's a different animal when you get that script and you got to write a 40, 50 page TV script or a 120 page movie, and it's good. I mean, you might can do it, but is it good?
Is it good?
Yeah. So.
Is it good? Hey, man, let me ask you this. Generally, writing is collaborative, right?
Yep.
There's several people involved, especially in television. That writer's assistant that's actually typing down words,
Yep.
Do they get credit as a writer?
That's a great question. No, writers assistants don't get a credit because they're not actually writing the scripts. They're taking down our notes, that we put in the scripts or our ideas, and then they don't actually type it up anyway. We'll type it up and they would just proof it. However, most writers assistants, I would say, on shows are writers and they are trying to break into the business, and that's their way of getting in. Most of the shows that I've been on, that writer's assistant, he or she, that first season, second season writer's assistant, you come back, they're gonna get a freelance script, and then the next season they're probably on staff. I've been on a lot of shows where writer's assistants became on staffs of TV shows because they know the show just as well or better than anybody because they're reading everybody's script and they're in that writer's room. And if they funny, they're pitching ideas, and it depends on the writer's room. Some showrunners allow writer assistants that autonomy just to kind of pitch and throw stuff out. Some don't, but the ones that do, and if they're funny and they got good ideas, that but at the end of the day, you just want the best idea. So no matter where it comes from, it comes from you, or it comes from writer assistant or the executive producer. If it's a good idea and they throw it out there and we put it in the script, and we realize that, man, she's good, she's funny, or he got some good ideas, next thing you know, we're gonna bring them on staff.
Wow. So for the audience, man, and I don't think people know how a TV script comes to pass. It is a lot of people. The network is involved, of course. You may have as many as 10 writers or more or less.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that it depends. The bigger the network, the more writers you're gonna have because the bigger the budget. The smaller the network, you get to ABC, NBC, Fox. You might have 10, 12 writers. I think Roseanne had 16 writers, I believe, in her staff, which is a big writer's room. But then if you go to cable, smaller networks, maybe some streaming services, you might have 6, you might have 8. It really all depends. But it's a lot of hoops to jump through because once you in that writer's room and you pitch an idea and you come up with them ideas have to get approved. So you can't just go out and write them. They got to get approved by the showrunner. They got to get approved by the studio. They got to get approved by the network, and a lot of times the stars of the show as well, who are maybe EPs. So, and then once that's written, they're rewritten. You're getting notes from everybody. And so I've never been on this TV show, and I've been blessed to probably be part of, I don't know, over 500 episodes of television. You're not going to get, that's the original script that was written is not what you see on television. That script is rewritten. It's like a car. When you wash your car and you wash it and you put the armor all on it, you're tired, you keep polishing and polishing and polishing. It's just like a script. It's just getting written and we polish and polishing till you get to that point where you think it's ready to get to shoot. But once they even get to the actors and they read it and they rehearse it, it's going to come back to us again.
That changes again.
It changes again. Even on set, they change it. So it's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. Before it actually gets to broadcast.
Now, can we talk about the situation with the guy, my cousin?
What do you want to talk about? We can talk about it. It's Rodney Perry Live. Let's talk about it.
Hey, man, you were part of the Tyler Perry world.
Yes, sir. At one point,
the first set of writers that ever was over there, right?
Yeah. Yep, I was there. Yep,
man.
Yes,
and you and your guys, your team took a brick for everybody that would come later.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything I'm about to say is true. I mean, you can look it up, online, Google it. So yeah, we were writers. We wrote on the show for Tyler Perry, The House of Pain, and some Meet the Browns, and unfortunately, we wrote over 100 episodes of that. But at that time, it was everybody in the studio for him were union. The actors, the directors, camera people, except the writers. And because when you're a writer, you have ownership. And you write that script, you get ownership of that because your name is on it. So when you go and you pick up a DVD in Walmart or that show is shown on an airplane and you're traveling to Brazil. As writers, we get residuals from that because we wrote that. And so they're making money off of something you wrote. So, I always say it's a blessing because you continually getting paid. I still get residual checks from shows I wrote like 20 years ago, which is crazy, like The Parenthood. I mean, Robert Townsend,
same here.
Yeah. So, and I'm not, and it's a blessing. So, it's just it's a beautiful thing. But Tyler Perry, we weren't union. So, and so we had an issue with that. And then we kind of fought so we could become union like everybody else. And it was some pushback. And then subsequently we were fired because of that. And at that moment, he kind of broke the Anti-Labor Union Act by firing writers that were trying to unionize. So we had to get into a lawsuit, and it was a big thing and all of that. So, but we actually won. And but anyway, so that was that. And but he's still doing his thing, and we all are doing ours. So
now his process changed television as we know it.
Yeah, he did. What he decided to do, and what he still does to this day, from my understanding, is that most TV shows from the advent of TV, going back to probably Lucille, I Love Lucy back in the day in the 50s and 60s, TV shows were shot once a week. So you would write the script.
One show a week.
And you would rehearse it like on Wednesday, Thursday. You would do a pre-shoot on maybe Thursday, and you would shoot the show on Friday. And the actors had
in front of a live audience.
From a live audience, and the actors would have that script for an entire week. And it was a process. And that's how it was when I first got in. When I worked for the Parenthood and Moesha and Girlfriends, that's how we did. We shot once a week. Some of those shows we shot in front of a live studio audience. But Tyler decided, excuse me, that process didn't work for him. So what he decided, because you think about it in simple numbers, if you're paying cast, crew, actors a certain amount of money per week, everybody's getting paid per week, and you shoot it once per week. He said, hey, how about if I shoot 2 shows per week? How about if I shoot 3 shows per week? How about if I shoot 4 shows in a week, and I still got to pay them camera people and everybody that same amount of money for that week? And that's what he did. And that's why he's able to shoot in a regular TV season, a full series, full episode, a full season is like 22 episodes.
Right.
When I was at the first season of Tyler Perry's House of Pain, we shot 100 episodes in the season. so you can see.
So you're almost a syndication after the first 100.
Yeah, you're right. But we were non-union, so we weren't seeing that syndication.
None of that.
We weren't seeing that syndication money. No, so that's why we had that kerfuffle with Mr. Perry. But that was his business model, and that business model obviously worked for him because he was able to, as you can see, amass so much money and so much fortune, and have so many shows, and be able to do what he's doing and buy islands. I think I just saw the other day he's building a $100 million house here.
Out here
in Atlanta. Yeah. So, yeah, man. But in my humble opinion, that is probably, just from a production standpoint, is not the best model to go because, and as an actor, and as a writer, you're constantly churning out material, and you're not really getting a chance to sit down with it to make it the best that it can be. Mm. And as actors, you're getting it, and you're constantly turnover. And so, you got to memorize lines, and you're working on another script. And there were times when we worked there.
My buddy came after you, and what he would tell me is that the pace of it made him not necessarily a better writer, but faster.
Oh yeah, you definitely get faster. I mean, but fast isn't always good, in my opinion. And you even had actors that complain that were like, hey, we need time to master this material. And there were days that we would go in and do a table read in the morning, and just literally the table read for the first time, and he would say, hey, I love it, let's shoot it, and we would shoot it that afternoon. And,
is he impatient?
I think I don't. I think I don't. You got to interview get Mr. Perry and Rodney Perry live. He can answer that. But I think
I know I need to get him on there.
I think more so for him, it's a business model that he think works for him, that he can amass the most bang for his buck. That's what I think.
Right.
I think it is. So
Wow.
and he's still on TV. He still got a bunch of shows that he's writing, producing, and directing, and craft service and everything. So written, produced.
Dude, I seen the dude do an interview. He did an interview, so he wrote every word. He had 35 shows. Ain't no way.
Hey man, he said he did it. So, but I know the process. And
Right. I know they hire ghostwriters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they pay them a one-time fee and they get them out of there.
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't like to say anything's impossible, but that's impossible. You're not going to write multiple seasons of shows at the same time with one person. So and to direct every episode as well. You couldn't sleep, So I remember there was a picture out. I mean, this is stuff online. I'm not making this up. There's a picture of him in front of all these scripts on the table. I think he said he went up to a cabin and he spent 3 weeks up there writing all these scripts, and it was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scripts all on the table. And Mama always said that Mama ain't raised no fools, so you can believe what you want.
Indeed. We're talking to Lamont Farrell. This is Rodney Perry. Tune in to Rodney Perry Live. Nick's House, Girlfriend, Last Call, The Wise Old Man, so many projects, dog. Man and Wife.
Man and Wife.
Moesha.
I got a new project, man, with your boy, Bruce.
That's the wise old man, or what is that?
That's the Wise Old Owl is a documentary for my college coach. But I have a pilot with Bruce called Bruise that we just finished and shot, that we're out now looking to shop to try to find a home for it. And I directed another a show called Nick's House, which is like a Nickelodeon type family show that I directed that as well. That hopefully will be out later this year, man. And I see you got my picture up, man. That's a writing class that I teach. My next class starts next Monday, the 13th. And this is, it's not part of USC. This is my own curriculum. It's open to anybody. I teach it online on Zoom. So I have people take the classes from all around the country and all around the world. So if anybody,
I love your class, man. I love your class because a guy with a real idea can walk out of your class with a script.
Oh, absolutely. And it's really, it's nothing holding you back except you, Rodney. If you want to write, and I teach you the ABCs about writing, but what I pride my class on, like you just said, some professors and some classes you just learn and you leave and you're like, okay, I learned the ABCs of writing. But in my class, you write a script and you're done. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna critique it. I'm gonna give you notes, and you can literally take. I've had students who wrote scripts in my class who've gotten agents, who've gotten managers, who got on TV shows, and out doing their thing. What's the name is doing a lot. He took my class. The comedian from Atlanta. I know you know him. He moved to New York. Now he's out. Young guy. What is his name? I can't forget his name. I know you know him though.
Yeah, I think I know you're talking about. He took my class as well, but when he took yours, it took it to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So Lamont, man, the transition into directing and the transition into producing, they're two different arms of the game. Like, is that something you always saw? Was that your part of your bigger plan?
Man, like you said, as you're in the business and blessed to be in the business long that I have, you look back on your career and you look at other avenues and what you can do to have a little more control. And as far as directing, I was blessed to get an opportunity to direct my first TV pilot recently, and I'm looking to do more, man, because I think it's just an opportunity that as a writer, and I'm always good with actors because I've been writing the words, so I'm good at knowing where the jokes land and not supposed to land, and your dramatic beats or what have you. And directing is just getting even behind that even more, in directing the scene and working with the actors. And so once I did it, and I think, man, I'm guilty of it too, Rodney. I'll be honest, on the show, I think we all have some type of fear level. You're comfortable with what you're doing, and you know you can do that. But then you're like, directing, producing, I ain't never. That's kind of, ooh. I see them, I see them names out there, and Spike Lee's and Spielberg's and all the people of the world. But then, you get an opportunity to do it, and I've seen it, and I've shadowed directors over the years, and I'm like, you know what, I could do that, man. I know I can. And so it's just a matter of just putting your foot out there and jumping in that water. And yeah, you might stumble a little bit, but hey, at least you're in that water and you swimming. And so when I did it, it came out a success, and it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to even doing more.
Who's your biggest ally as a director? Is it I'm thinking maybe the DP, or on TV, is that different?
Yeah, no, it's the DP and the first AD, first assistant director. That's someone that's there with you, but it's still a collaborative effort. And as a director, for me, I've been writing way more, than I've been directing. So I've learned a long time ago from people who are a lot smarter than me, is that you ask questions and you look and you learn from the best people in the room. You want to surround yourself with people who know more than you do. And so when I'm on the sets, man, I'm people who've been doing this their whole lives, just like people asking me about writing. That's something I've been doing for over 20 years. But now I'm in a director space. I'm always constantly speaking to directors, talking to people. I have a good friend, Princess Monique Film. She's a director.
I know Princess.
Yeah, she's done Blackish. She's really killing the game. She's done a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm always talking to her, picking her brain about things and trying to learn more, looking online, researching.
Matter of fact, I want to say I was scheduled to work with her, and like, it's so many things that can happen before a production goes.
Yeah.
And so have you had a situation like I was about to work with her and then they pulled her out? And as an actor, I'm like, I was only here to work with her.
Yeah, man, I think nowadays it's even harder with the COVID protocol, with with so many things that could derail a project. But I haven't really been in that situation. But I know of situations where people are ready to jump on and real things. But from being an athlete, I look at it as too, like a lot of you go to school, you sign with a school, and you get there, and the coach leaves and go to another school. So
right.
So you like, I only came to UCLA because of him, and now he's at Duke. You know what I mean? So now you're like, it's just just part of life, but. At least you're in the game.
Wow. Let's end with that, man. You have to be resilient to be a comedian, an actor, a writer, producer, director, a father, a husband. I'm
not a husband, but not anymore. But we'll talk about that.
But you were, and you were good at it. But anyway.
Yes, I was. Thank you.
Talk to me about your resilience, man, because this game ain't for the faint of heart, man, and you've been navigating it so effortlessly, bro.
Well, man, I thank you, and I've had ups and downs, and I still go through them. So I don't want to appear that I don't. There's no road bumps in my path, but man, you just got to really, and not just for the entertainment business, but anything in life, you just got to believe in yourself. I firmly believe that, because there's so many people out there that are going to tell you no, tell you can't do something because they can't do it. So they telling you that, I don't know if I would try that. That's too hard. You know how long it's going to take you to get there? It's going to take 2-3 years for you to become a director, to become a writer, become an actor after taking these classes and graduating. But I always say, what you going to be doing in 3 years anyway? Hopefully, with God's grace, you're still going to be here. So you might as well be here doing something you want to do than not. But yeah, man, it's at the end of the day, it's a job. And I look at it as, I was put here to tell stories. At the end of the day, I'm a storyteller. and I just keep moving forward, man. And I know going in that I'm gonna get no's. I already know that. I know when I pitch a show, I know when I audition for something, I know when I try to sell something, I'm gonna get a no, because that's just the nature of this business. But you only need one yes. And so what I also decided to do is put on my entrepreneurial hat and start teaching classes, start writing, creating my own things, and not waiting for someone to do it. And that's how I got to USC, because I started teaching my own writing classes. And when I had opportunity to teach as a professor there, they saw that I've already been doing it for probably 10 years of my own.
Right.
It was no big deal. So I think sometimes you got to step out and do things that you want to do, and you never know where that dominoes will fall as your career goes on. I think so many of us are kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of hard work. I ain't making that much money. Forget about the money. Do it because of the love. And at the end of the day, that love will take you longer than you are trying to chase that mighty dollar. That dollar going to come if you put your love and effort and faith into it. Whatever you do.
Wow. Hey, y'all, this is Rodney Perry. You tuned in to Rodney Perry Live. That man is Lamont Farrell. Lamont, last question.
Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you for co-hosting.
Hey, brother.
Last question.
Appreciate you having me.
Do I go provolone or cheese whiz?
Man, if you Philly, if you from the real Philadelphia, man, you go provolone all day. That cheese whiz, man, that ain't real cheese, man. We going provolone. We don't want that cheese whiz with my cheese steak. That's for the tourists, man. No, you going provolone, you going American. Bam, boom, that white cheese, that white cheddar. Poop, poop, poop.
Okay. Okay. Where am I going for, like, I'm in Philly.
Okay.
I'm on South Street, or do I go to the hood to some place I never heard of? I want a cheesesteak.
Man, you in Philly, you on South Street, gotta go to Bibbles.
Bibbles use cheese whiz.
But they also use from what I remember, unless they stopped, you could get either or. It's not just cheese whiz.
Okay.
Or go to Will Smith's spot. Hopefully he won't smack you. But Overbrook Pizza.
Really?
Overbrook Pizza, man, on 63rd Street. Overbrook Pizza. That's the spot right there. They got Will Smith's picture up on the wall. Yep. But
wow.
That's one of the best.
Hey, I never forget. You would have your Philly Day party in LA.
Philly Fest.
You had a Philly Fest joint, and you would have them bring real cheesesteaks from Philly.
Man, that's when I had a bunch of money, Rodney. I had the cheese.
You was rich back then.
I would have water ice and pretzels flown in. I was bringing Philly to LA, man. But that was
what a great event.
Oh my God! I remember you did Kevin Hart, David Arnold, man. Hey, that was some good times. Dan and Green, yes sir.
I want to say David met his wife at your party.
David did meet his wife at my party, at Julie. I remember like it was yesterday, and I tell him that all the time. I'm like, man, you better thank me, brother. Wasn't for me, you wouldn't have all this.
I think Julie was checking you out back then.
No, I was married back then. She was checking me out.
Yo, hey, Mr. Lamont Farrell, writer, producer, everything in between. Thank you for the chat, man. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk to businessman, entrepreneur, suit maker, Mr. William Wilson. We'll be right back with more Rodney Perry Live.
What up, y'all? It's Michael Sean, and I know you want to be a podcaster. You want a successful podcast. You want to give your views and opinions, but you just don't know how to do it correctly. That's why you got to hit up ShawneeScott.com. You want to be on radio, and you want to know how to build your radio career. ShawneeScott.com. She's done all of this. I've worked alongside her for years, and I will tell you the information that she can give you is on a value level that I can't even put a price on it. All you have to do is go to ShawneeScott.com. Your future, right now. That's it. Michael Sean. Yeah.
What up, party people joining me? Miss Shawnee Scott on air. Shawnee.
Hey.
Lamont Farrell.
Okay, yeah, there's Lamont.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shawnee had a question for you before we move on.
Okay.
I did have a question about your class. So how do we sign up for your class? If someone wants to sign up
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You need to just go to it's all on all social media platforms. But if you go to my website, just JUST jokes JOKES justjokesentertainment.com, and it has all the information on there of how to sign up. It's also on Instagram, Facebook, and you can reach out to me myself if you want. You can email me Lamont Farrell, LamontFerrell, Lamont Farrell at ymail.com. Y as in Yahoo, ymail.com.
Let me just too on your Insta. You had 2 F's in your name on the Instagram if they want to follow.
Yeah, that's correct. The F is my middle name. That's funny, you know. And Rodney, I know you don't even know this.
I do not. I didn't. I'm looking at it right now, going. I had no idea you had.
No. That's my middle initial. So it's not 2 S. It's just my middle initial.
Lamont F. Farrell, and the F stands for fingering girls.
How did you know? But man, this is real quick, funny story. The F stands for Francois.
Really?
Francois. Listen,
did you make that up? Is that your club name?
No, listen. When I was born, true story. When I was born, my mom wanted to name me Lamont. My father wanted to name me Francois. I don't know. I guess he just watched a whole bunch of French movies. I don't know what that was.
That's a cool name, though. Francois is cool as hell.
Listen, my mom was like, no, we ain't naming him Francois. So my dad said, okay, well, I'm only going to call him Francois. True story. So my entire life growing up, my dad only called me Francois. Everybody else called me Lamont Francois. So when I would have a girl would come to my house and they was like, how you doing? Is Lamont home? My dad would be like, just a minute. Francois. They'd be like, no, we want Lamont. I don't know who this Francois person is. Who is that? But yeah.
So wow, that's great. That's a great story,
so
man.
I had 2 names growing up, man.
How stubborn is your dad?
Oh, when I mean, y'all think I'm kidding. When I mean he only called me Francois, this is God's truth. My dad passed away about 3 years ago. Real funny dude. My dad, I've never heard him call me Lamont my entire life. Never.
Wow.
Right,
wow,
so
that's dope as hell. Great story. Man. Lamont Francois Farrell, it's just been a great chat. Don't go nowhere.
I'm here, baby.
With us. Shiny, let's pull up William Wilson.
Hey, what's up,
buddy? Joining the show, one of my guys, man. He's made garments for me. He works with the who's who of Hollywood. Everybody from D.L. Hughley to Eddie Griffin. He travels the world making custom apparel, custom suits, custom hats, and he's one of those guys, man. William Wilson, talk to me about how you got in this game, bro.
Man, be honest with you, totally by accident. I owned a construction company, a residential framing company. And I had guys doing the work. So I would check my job sites in the morning and I would check them in the afternoon. And, I saw all my homeowners. And one day one of them said, man, Will, because I always had meetings and stuff during the day. And one day one of the homeowners stopped me and said, Will, you always dress so nice. Could you help me put my wardrobe together? And I was like, man, I don't know nothing about fashion. I said, I'm a Navy man and I know how to build houses. I know how to blow up stuff. I know how to build houses and blow them back up.
Right.
So he was like, so he was like, look, I see you every day. He's built like a 15,000 square foot house. So I saw him a lot. And he was like, look, I see you every day. I see how you dress. I trust you. Long story short, I helped him out. He started sending people to me. I started helping them out. And then I started charging them for it. And I was like, man, people are paying me to tell them what to go get. So if I could provide this, there may be a business in this. Now I'm a country boy from Arkansas. I don't know nothing about Tom, James, all these custom suit places. I don't know anything about any of this. Then where I'm from, you spend $120 on a suit from Walmart, you doing your thing.
Right.
So real talk. I'm from both. There were 41 people in my graduating class in high school, and I didn't go to a private school. That's how small my town was. Wow. But at the time, Mike Minner, Mike Rucker, Al Wallace, those guys were friends of mine. They were playing for Panthers. So I said, if you can have your own like perfect custom clothing situation, what would it be? They kind of told me, so I kind of set my business up around that, around exclusivity and, you know, really great high quality, only dealing with private clients, that kind of thing, and it worked. 14 months later, I did a suit for Calvin Richardson for the Grammys, and he got best dressed on the red carpet. And I didn't even know they had stuff like that. So, and it just took off.
Man, now you still got a learning curve though. You still got to learn about fabrics, how to cut a suit. Like you decide to do the business. Now you're in it. So how do you do it?
Well, I always understood what a proper suit was supposed to look like. That I always knew, because I realized very early on, people address you based on how you dressed. So if you look like you're gonna rob somebody, they're gonna treat you like you're gonna rob. If you treat them like you own the company, they're gonna treat you like you own the company.
True.
So I always understood how to dress well. But I actually went to my alteration shop. There's a guy named James Chin who taught me how to measure. He literally taught me how to measure in front of his cash register. And I would go in the back and watch them take suits apart and put them back together like 3-4 hours a day for months, just watching how the suits worked, how to put them together and all that stuff. And I just took it from there.
Wow, man. I think that's awesome. I mean, you know, when you do these shows like this, there's always a commonality. There's always a stick-to-itiveness in people that from different walks of life. You make suits, but like you say, you're a Navy man. And how did the Navy inform your business moving forward?
I don't know if it did per se in that sense. The Navy kind of enhanced what my mom had already put in me. So that Navy transition was, you know how it is, Rodney. You're a Navy man. You know, you first go to class, you get to boot camp that first day. Like, you know, you're going to get up, you go ready to go, blah, blah, blah. Yes, sir, no, sir, all that stuff. You know, I already knew that. That's all what I already had. I grew up saying yes, sir, no, sir, so respect, knowing I had put in the work. So that part kind of just reinforced what my mom had already taught me to do. Responsibility, respect for authority, those kind of things. But understand that there's a process for everything. Like the Navy, there's a process for everything. There's a process, there's a procedure. So I just understood, like, just trust the process. You may not understand it at the beginning, but if you understand the process, learn the process, where it becomes second nature to you, that's when you can learn to manipulate the process if necessary, but you understand where it works. So now I just learned to trust the process, and that's really just helped me out in everything.
I always love to have businessmen on this show, man, because y'all got a very interesting perspective of life. Talk to me about this, dog, because you put on a golf tournament annually. I've been a part of it. I've had the unique distinction of being the worst golfer of all time.
But you tore. But in your defense, you tore up the comedy show after the tournament, though.
Indeed. I'm glad you let me redeem myself. But talk to me about the tournament and what the benefit is, and how you came to that.
It's called the Clothier Classic. And it's really just to raise money. I started a scholarship at Central Piedmont Community College, one of the local community colleges, for domestic violence. You know, my mom's a domestic violence survivor. You know, she's in a much better situation now. You know, plus she has a son that can pay her bills if she need them. So she doesn't have to be dependent upon anybody for anything ever again. But a lot of people will never get out of that situation. And a lot of times it's just really just the financial aspect of what keeps them locked in. So I started a scholarship at Central Piedmont Community College for basically learning and certification program. So it's not your traditional 4-year matriculating program like for bachelor's or stuff like this. It's for programs like a CNA or learn entrepreneurship or become a personal trainer, nutritionist. Just things that you can get a certification within 30 to 90 days on to make yourself marketable in the job market, or if you want to start your own business, it'll give you that basis to know how to do that. Basically, just give yourself marketable skills so you can have a chance to get another job or start your own business so you can finally get out of that domestic violence situation.
Now, I know you make suits, but you make a lot of different things. Can you tell us some of the people you dress, man?
Oh, man, I've dressed you, D.L. Hughley, Eddie Griffin, George Lopez, Oscar De La Hoya. Whew, man, you did.
How you meet Oscar De La Hoya? How'd you meet him?
Oscar, I was at George Lopez's golf tournament, and a guy who handles ticketing for Oscar won one of my suits at an auction. I think he paid like $3,500 for the suit at the auction. And so I met up with him to measure him for his suit. He's like, hey, I got a client. One of my clients wants you to make a suit for it too. I'm like, all right, cool. He said, Oscar De La Hoya. He said, you know who that is? I'm like, everybody know who that is. Right. So I met up with him in Vegas, measured him up, made a suit for him. It was great. Now it's really funny. I had never met Oscar before then, but now I see him every year at George Lopez's golf tournament, which is really funny.
So Oscar De La Hoya got to be like a 34 regular?
No, Oscar's bigger than you. He's not a big guy, but he's bigger than you think. But and at that time he had put on some weight. He's lost a lot of it now. Okay. But no, Rodney. But I do everything custom, so those numbers don't really mean much to me. There's a reference numbers to me. But if I had to guess, I'd say he's probably 42 regular.
Okay. Go ahead, De La Hoya. Wow, that's crazy, man. So many different people. And I know you work with Eddie Griffin, but he doesn't really wear suits. He wears like these other things. You make those too? Yeah.
Everything I do is custom. So like Eddie, like people ask me all the time, who's my most creative client, that kind of thing. And I tell them all the time, Eddie Griffin. Because Eddie did everything you ever seen me make for Eddie designed it himself.
Oh, wow.
And we just
what he want to work. What fabrics do y'all use? What fabrics do you use with him? Because those little sweatsuits like hang like really dope.
Yeah, that's a polyviscose fabric. It's a blend of natural and synthetic fabric because it's very, very lightweight. It breathes very easy. It has a little bit of flexibility in it, because Eddie's very animated. So when I fly to Vegas to see Eddie, I only take one fabric book because he only uses one fabric, and it's just a lot of different colors of that fabric.
Now we got Lamar Farrell. He's 6 feet what?
4.
6 feet 4. Like, can you eyeball him and tell him what he need?
Yeah, I can close my eyes and tell you. Just need to come see me.
There you go.
Yeah.
The only number that matters is my phone number. Hit me up. Come see me. I'll come out to you.
Now, do you dress women, William?
I do. Now I don't do like those evening gowns, the ball gowns, that kind of stuff. I don't do that because that's a whole other skill set, and I believe in staying in my lane. But business suits, dress shirts, slacks, that kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of my female
Scott, you want a suit?
Absolutely. Is that my birthday present?
Oh, hold on! Don't jump the gun.
I'm just asking. Is that my birthday present? My birthday not in November, so you got some time,
William will set your ass back though. You be over there more looking at what he's like that. This is nice though. All right. I need all y'all help.
I don't set people any further back. Y'all set the club promoters and they come to make money from you.
Yeah, that is a fact. I need all y'all help. It's time for Ask Uncle Rodney. People write in letters, emails, holler at us. Shiny Scott. Oh goodness gracious! I don't know. I don't have no answers. Let's go.
Okay, dear Uncle Rodney, I am a happily married man who has enjoyed 8 years of wedded bliss with my beautiful wife. Okay. We are best friends and enjoy traveling, fine dining, and trying new things together. My wife was responsible for date night last week and wanted it to be a surprise. She dressed extra sexy that night, and I'm not complaining, but I did notice the extra skin. Dinner was delicious.
You noticed what?
The extra skin. Okay. She was extra sexy. So,
Okay.
dinner was delicious, and he was anticipating his dessert. She drove us to a club we've never been to before. I had paid $45 to get in. Walking in the door was interesting. Couples on the first floor were hugged up, kissing, dancing, and enjoying drinks. On the second floor, there were rooms with sheer curtains, and one or two couples were on beds engaging in various phases of sexual contact. The third floor had green doors, and all I saw were groups of 5 to 10 people going in. This was a damn swingers club, and my wife was enjoying. I'm not into sharing or being watched while I do my thing, but my wife seems to be all into trying this lifestyle. I don't want to disappoint her, but this just isn't my thing. Do I try it for her and see where it goes, or put my foot down and insist we're not engaging in this lifestyle?
Wow, that's a lot. All right, Lamont.
It's too early in the week for questions like that.
You stay right there where you was. You next.
Stella said divorce time.
Stella said divorce time. Lamont, sounds like a good time to me. Come on, Lucius. Lamont,
Lucius said that sounds like Friday night.
Lamont, your wife hit you up. She like, yo, we going out having a good time, and the spot she take you to is a swingers club. What do you do?
Man, I'm like, you out your damn mind? I mean, yeah, I'm kind of like, nah, I'm not trying to share. You know, we got to talk about that. We can't just leave the restaurant and pop up there like all of a sudden. That's I'm all for surprises, but that's not the type of surprise I want to look. I want to see. We and my wife, we walking in, and there's 10 other people in there. We're not. That's not a party we gonna join. So I think
William Wilson,
bro, that's a conversation that really has to be had, because one, I wonder, like, how'd y'all get this far into your marriage without knowing that she into that? Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? At some point, something had to be intimated, or something had to introduce that to her for her to know where it is, know how to get there, and that she's into it. So
she's been there before, William.
She's been there before. It's been one of those things she's wanted to do for a while. Yeah. But y'all need to have a conversation, and a long, serious conversation, because, you know, to find out the why. I'm a big thing on the why. You know, the what is usually less important than the why. If you find out why things are going on, you can understand how to fix them, or how to resolve, or how to move forward. There may be a compromise, there may not. But I think you need to figure out, because if that's what she really, 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 really into, and she really want to do that, one thing I learned in my years on this earth, when a woman really want to do something, at some point she gonna do it. Whether you cool with it or not, at some point, or it's gonna be a point of contention. So you need to get that fixed up. Need to iron out that wrinkle now before it get big.
Yeah, that's a big wrinkle.
Yeah, it is.
Well, here we go. Ask Uncle Rodney. They happily married. Happy. And they're best friends. So this is her way of telling you, yo, I know I haven't been clear, but this is what I like. I say, at the very least, you gotta go with no inhibitions at the first time, at least. And then when you get back home, you be like, yo, why you didn't tell me? Blah, blah, blah. Or y'all go home immediately and have the conversation at night, and then we can go back.
My thing is, why is she blindsiding with this? You know what I'm saying? Because you can be happily married. Being happy and being satisfied can be two different things. You may be happily married, but not satisfied fully in the bedroom. That may be a fantasy she's already had. And he may be a great guy.
Go together. If you ain't happy, then you ain't happy sexually.
No, I don't know what that. You could compartmentalize one of the two, because he could be a great person. That may be a fantasy she's had for a long time that she's already been curious about. She may try and realize, you know what, I don't like this. I don't know if
Okay,
she
here goes the answer. Happily married, they best friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me.
8 years.
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go. You got to go. But she needs to tell you whether it's okay if you smash somebody else, because there's different levels of swingerdom. That's
It's a swingerdom.
that's us swinging together. Are we swinging together? Do you want to watch me smash somebody? I don't want to watch you smash nobody. So if that's why we're here, why don't I just push you down the flight of stairs so I can collect the insurance money?
Okay. Nah, that's not right. Maybe she just wanted to go be in the atmosphere.
Well, I mean, like
they've been together 8 years, so it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I could see as a couple, you go, you observe, you walk around, you experience the moment like everything else. I could see that, but to go in and just open up a door and say, "Hey, let's go," that's something that we gotta.
But maybe as a couple, they like clowning people. So how about this? Everybody that's naked ain't cute.
You got that right.
Okay. Tell y'all a quick story. One of my homegirls used to put on these parties. It was a moving party, and she invites me. I go in, Jenny Scott. It's a suite. The suite is a party. It's the DJ. It's a party. 20 people dancing. Where's so-and-so? Oh, she in the back. I go in the back room. It's Freaknik 1985. She looking out the window like Malcolm X. She's like, "Oh, you came?" I'm like, "Yeah." They are doing it everywhere, left and right. So I'm talking to her by the window. A dude is standing right there doing his thug thizzle with a large young lady. He going to town.
How's he doing it, Rodney?
Why y'all standing there having a conversation?
He going to town. He looks at me. Rodney Perry? You want some?
No, thank you.
First of all,
man, I'm gonna go get out of here, man. Enjoy yourself, brother.
Rodney, he broke the man code. You don't speak to another man and look him in the
Don't
eye
talk to me.
Why you naked? You don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me. And the last thing you want to be in any swinger situation is recognized.
Hey, Rob.
I'm taking selfies with people on the way out.
But if they recognize you, I mean, it's they there. They can't say nothing.
No, they definitely, if they want to, I don't know. Anyway, but long story short, man, to this couple, you haven't gotten this far without trying stuff. I say go for it, and I think they're happy, they're best friends, and they'll be fine.
Hey, Rodney.
Yes, sir.
Can I address Stella? Because I was reading her comments in the bottom.
Go ahead.
I think there may be a disconnect. I think he's saying like, because she made a comment earlier about the skin TV and stuff like this. I think when he said extra skin, I don't think he meant extra skin like volume. I think like she probably got a little sexier.
She was a little more nude.
Yeah, she's a little more sexy. She's
extra sexy.
Exactly. She got extra sexy for it. So she knew where this was going. So I don't think.
They're gonna question. Yeah. No, he meant that
she was ready.
So she's normally, maybe she's trying to break out of her comfort zone because she normally don't even dress sexy at home. This is extra skin. That's a good point, Stella. All right, enough. My name is Rodney Perry. Thank you to my guest today, Mr. William Wilson. Thank you to Lamar Farrell. Appreciate you, brother. Miss Shani Scott, well done. Once again, we put this one in the can. For anybody that don't know, we do this every single day. My name is Rodney Perry, and we go from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You figure that out where you live, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, y'all gotta be safe. That's me, y'all. All right, Willie. Mr. Williams.
Get ready for America's #1 funny man. What? Hey. Make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, from LA to New York, Chicago to Mississippi, let's give it up for America's #1 funny man, Rodney.